Our Prophet, Allah's blessings be upon him, is talking about the end times and about the sequence of events that will occur in the end time. And this is what he said. He said, Umranu Bayt al-Maqdis. The word Jerusalem is not there. We call it Bayt al-Maqdis, but it's the same thing. When Jerusalem is flourishing, is center stage, is built up using the analogy of construction, built up, flourishing, center stage. At that time, he said, look to see Yathrib, Kharabu Yathrib. That Yathrib would be destroyed using the terminology of construction, meaning in a state of forlorn desolation, with no role whatsoever to play in the world. Yathrib, of course, is that city to the north of Mecca, which today is popularly known as Medina. Mecca is the most important city in the world for a Muslim, for an Arab. So why should he refer to Yathrib and not to Mecca? When Jerusalem is flourishing, center stage in the world, Yathrib will have no status whatsoever. Answer? Because Mecca also will have a status less than Yathrib. So in the end time, Mecca has no role to play for a Muslim. In the end time, Yathrib or Medina has no role to play for a Muslim. In the end time, it is Jerusalem which is the most important city of all. And then he went on to say, and I hope these words of mine reach to Turkey. Can you take it please to them? Kharabu Yathrib, Khurujul Malhama. Malhama, you know it. You call it Armageddon. Armageddon. The Great War. He called it a war in which 99% of those who fight would be killed. 99 out of every 100 would be killed. You call it Armageddon. We call it the Malhama. And that Malhama has not as yet taken place. Perhaps you might want to tell that to Turkey for me. The Armageddon has not as yet taken place. There has never been a war in history in which 99% of all combatants have been killed. Surely the Turkish people should be able to understand that. And when they do, then look at what's to come. He said, Khurujul Malhama, Fathul Constantinia. That the next event which will take place after Armageddon, after the Malhama, would be the conquest of Constantinople. He didn't say Istanbul, no. So, excuse me, Mustafa Kamal, I have to use the name that my prophet used. He used the word Constantinople, and hence it is sunnah to use the term or the name Constantinople. The name Constantinople, therefore, is dearer to a Muslim than the name Istanbul. In a choice between Constantinople and Istanbul, a Muslim must always choose the name Constantinople, because our Prophet used that name. I have come tonight to Belgrade to share this with you. And so the conquest of Constantinople has not as yet taken place. That is why I ask you to take this message, please, to the Turkish Muslims and to the Muslims of the Balkans. And when you take the message, take it gently. Take it gently to them, that they might understand. 600 years of brainwashing can be removed. 600 years is a long, long time. So you might need a lot of water and a lot of soap to wash away that brainwashing. The conquest of Constantinople, prophesied by Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessings be upon him, has not as yet taken place. It will take place after the Malhama. And when it takes place, then that's goodbye to NATO. I hope I don't offend anyone. When it takes place, when the conquest of Constantinople takes place, that's goodbye to NATO. And then he said, Fathul Constantiniya, Khuruj al-Dajjal, that the Antichrist will emerge, if you will excuse the term, in person after the conquest of Constantinople. And so now, the schoolboy should have known that the most important city in the world for a Christian in the end time is Jerusalem. The most important city in the world for a Jew in the end time is Jerusalem. The most important city in the world for a Muslim in the end time is Jerusalem.